Is that,
Yeah, go ahead, Janice.
yeah, is that cool?
Olga's managing the muting.
I
Oh,
can
I
hear
see.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody can hear me now? Yeah? Is that okay? All right. So I needed a walk this morning. And there's that word needed, but it's what felt right. As you know, I think we're reaching the 7-week point of being isolated and being at home, and with that comes so much stuff that's coming to the surface. You know, I've got 3 kids at home now, and 2 of them are adults home from university, and everything's been going along pretty great until until last night, when we attempted to have a nice family dinner, and it just didn't go that well. You know, our middle guy seemed a bit down, and the conversation wasn't flowing, and you know, it's interesting. It's an opportunity for all of us to make up our own stories about the situation, right? And you know, yeah, I really wanted to talk about today what our biggest addiction is, and it's not what you might think, and this will relate as I go on. But our biggest addiction is our addiction to our thoughts. And you know, we're invested in our thoughts because they keep us from feeling certain things. And you know, our minds want to create a future, and it may not be an optimal future, but it keeps us occupied and busy from reality. And you know, I went to bed last night after our family dinner not feeling so well, trying to come up with reasons. You know, he didn't want to talk, and trying to come up with reasons. You know, why is he so down? What is it? And you know, obviously going to the worst case scenarios, because you want to fill in the space, right? Our brains want certainty so badly right now, right? And well, really always. And one of the biggest tools that I use with my clients and myself, and it was an opportunity to practice on myself, was questioning those thoughts that I was having, those sort of dysfunctional, worrying thoughts that weren't necessarily true. So I'll give you an example. You know, I've got a 14-year-old as well, who's, you know, taken over the basement, and that's where the gaming stuff is, and whatnot. And he's got plates down there and in cans and whatnot. And I walk by it every day. And so I would say to him, you know what, please pick up those things. You know, day 1 goes by, day 2 goes by. And then I'm thinking to myself, he's not listening to me. He just doesn't listen to me. And I get angry. I get resentful. I get all sorts of things that don't feel good. And what you can do is stop yourself and question those thoughts. You can believe them or you can question them. And to question them, there's a series of questions that I would take my clients through. Number 1, is it true? Is it true that my son does not listen to me? Okay, and then it's a yes or no answer. So I would say, no, he's not listening to me. Number 2, can I know that to be absolutely true, without a doubt, 100%, that he does not listen to me? No, I don't know that to be 100% true. Number 3, how do I feel? What happens when I believe that thought, that he's not listening to me? What happens in my body? How do I treat him? So what happens in my body? I get tight. I feel angry. I feel resentment towards him. I just feel, I'm mad. And the 4th question I would ask myself is, who would I be without that thought? And the answer that comes up for me is completely free and less suffering in that. Now, am I saying that the situation is ideal? No, but he's just not doing what I've asked him. He may have listened to me. Does everybody see that? He's probably listening to me, but he's just not taking action. So then it's up to me to set a boundary around that and maybe shut off the gaming and stand there until he goes, whatever the solution is. But who am I really angry with? Who's really not listening? And it's myself. Where am I not listening to me? It's an opportunity. So what I'm really saying is that when we are triggered or activated in a negative way, it's an opportunity to go in and really ask yourself, is it true? Do I know it to be 100% true without a doubt in my mind? How do I feel when I believe this thought? And who would I be without this thought? Who would I be, and how would I feel? And this is not about denying situations and circumstances. Circumstances are what they are, but we really create the suffering around the stories we make up around these things. You know, I think some of you were at the live sisterhood, and I told a story about my daughter, my poor kids now. But at Christmas time, we had decided to do something different and share experiences. And one of my whole thing was, okay, I want each of you to come to yoga, just one day. You know, it was my daughter's turn, and she didn't want to come. So we had some words about it. I left feeling with my tail between my legs, thinking, she doesn't love me. How could she love me? It's the one thing we asked for Christmas. We're not exchanging things. I just want her to come to yoga with me one day. Second day rolls around and she still doesn't get out of bed. And it's like, wow, I was absolutely torturing myself because I was believing the thoughts that she didn't love me. And again, going through those series of questions, is it true? Well, it could be. I don't know. Yes or no is that's all that's required for that first question. Yes or no. Do I know it? Did I know that to be 100% true without a doubt that she didn't love me? That she doesn't love me? No, I can't say that. How do I feel when I believe that thought that she doesn't love me? Terrible. Like I just feel awful. And who would I be without that thought? I'd be pretty free. Did I like the circumstance that was happening? No. Did I feel hurt? Did I feel certain things? Yes. And it's not a denial of feelings, is what I'm saying. It's are you going to believe those stories that you're making around every single situation? Because that is what leads to suffering. Realities are always kinder than the stories we tell ourselves about them. Always. Even though circumstances are not ideal, are not optimal, when you resist reality, you lose 100% of the time, and only 100%. Yeah. So it's our acceptance of reality that really eases the situation. We may not like it. We don't have to like it, but it's true acceptance of each situation that brings freedom and peace. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Yeah. I love this. I don't let go of my concepts. I meet them with understanding. Then they let go of me. Right? It's a very simple concept, but it's not easy. But once you get the gist of it, the asking yourself the 4 questions, that's probably one of the biggest tools that I've got for questioning your thoughts. And it doesn't have to be an arduous process. You know, when you do it over and over again, it's like, okay, is it true? Yeah, I kind of feel that. Is it true 100%? No. How do I feel? And that really gets you in check with how you're feeling about, how you're acknowledging the feelings around it, right? Which is so important because, you know, when we have a belief, the next step is a behavior from that belief. And then the next step from behavior is results. So belief, behavior, results, right? So if I had a choice, you know, even around this COVID situation, if I had a choice to think, oh my gosh, we're so doomed, you know, like we're never going to get out of this, like, I mean, that makes me feel awful, right? Tight, constricted, fight or flight immediately, right? You know, whereas that also can breed possibility. You know what? Soon enough, we are going to get through this, and there will be some silver linings. Now, do I know that for sure? No, I don't know that for sure. But what thought and what beliefs feels better? Because both of them are very possible. So you can take that with any belief or thought that you're having and turn it around. It's not about denial either. It's just, it's just the choice, right? And it's not sort of Pollyanna-ing, situations. It's sort of having an intimate relation with reality, with what is right in front of us, and what we are choosing to feel about it, and questioning, is this actually true, right? Yeah, and so really a way that you can start is where we can really start with our triggers. What bothers us, what triggers us, what sets us, what gets us going, right? And then from there, give yourself a little bit of space to question, right? What's really going on? And when we believe our thoughts around certain situations, it can have the benefit of keeping us in a victim mode, right? I talk about victimhood and stepping into your power, both things. And so sometimes there's really a self-serving prophecy to keep us in that victim mode, because then we don't really have to do anything about it, right? We can be unattached but fully committed to whatever we're doing. And I think that's really the goal to get to. And we can only get there by questioning our actual thoughts around any given situation. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's, I was really put to the test yesterday at dinner, and through this whole thing is all of us are experiencing things that are already there. COVID is not, it's not making things worse. It's just revealing things that were already there. It's bringing the stuff to the surface, right? And so that therein lies the opportunity to work on these things. That's the silver lining, right? It's not easy, but we don't have the distractions. We don't have we can't go into work and have that change of scenery and get snippets of our partners or our kids, or like we do, but everything's right in our face all the time. So therein lies the opportunity, and that's full of possibility, absolutely full of possibility, and which makes me feel a lot better. Yeah. And back to when we believe our thoughts, like oh my gosh, my daughter doesn't love me. She didn't want to, I asked for one simple thing and she didn't do it. That puts me in a state of fight or flight, and you don't really think about it, right? It's not like, okay, and then I wonder why my digestion is off. Right? You can eat a perfectly healthy diet and drink all the water and take the supplements and do everything. But if your beliefs are putting you into fight or flight, and these naturopaths will know, your digestion and everything else falls to the wayside, because there are bigger things to take care of first. So we can step into our power when it comes to our thoughts. And from there drives everything, every other addiction. Right? When we have an addiction to our thoughts, those thoughts drive us into other addictions, right? Drinking, drugs, shopping, gambling, whatever, you name it, right? Distraction, isolation, all of it. So what would it be like if we could change our relationship to our thoughts and actually question them? Is it true? But without denying our feelings around any given situation. And that's the key. Yeah. So anyway, I'm in a much better mood this morning because I did give myself the space to question what was going on, right? What's really going on with me? And I don't know if I had said, yeah, my son's not listening to me. Where am I not listening to me? Right? That's where the power is, right? And I think all those unnecessary thoughts that are so harmful to us keep us distracted from what's really going on inside. Right, and taking responsibility and having accountability for ourselves. Because when we do that, everything runs a little more smoothly. Yeah. Now I'll open the floor if anybody had any questions around what I'm saying. Has anyone had any thoughts that they're experiencing right now that they're not liking? That are making them feel not so great? Yeah, that's okay. I'm sure after this talk, you'll it's a lot of food for thought for sure. And my hope from this is that you will learn to question everything that's going through your mind, right? Because out of uncertainty comes pure possibility. Right? We're always trying to predict a future when really there is none. Right? We don't know what's going to happen in the next minute. You're not sure, you didn't know what I was going to say 5 minutes ago. Right? And there also is no past. Right? There's just memories. Right? So what does that leave us with right now? Right? We're present. That takes us right into the present. And it's when we're uncomfortable in the present moment is where we want to go into the past to justify, or into the future to unnecessary worrying about something that we don't know may or may not happen. And the possibility of it being extraordinary is just as likely as what you're worrying about. Is just keeping us distracted from feeling vulnerable. All those thoughts swirling around, right? Get down to a feeling. And some of you have heard me speak before about the 8 unpleasant feelings. And I'll finish with this. So 8 unpleasant feelings and they are not bad by any stretch. These are not bad feelings. They're just uncomfortable, and they can be unpleasant. And it's anger, sadness, shame, vulnerability, embarrassment, frustration, helplessness, and disappointment. So even Tara, if you want to make a list of those things, I don't know if that's too much. But anytime you're feeling or distracting or whatever, stop, pause, look at the list, and that's exactly what I did last night. And it's about practice. I'm like, oh my gosh, my son he's not in he doesn't seem to be in a good place, and he doesn't want to talk, so I can't get through to him. So what am I feeling right now? Helplessness. So I am feeling helpless and freedom. Welcome. I see you and I accept you. Right? And I no longer have the distraction of, oh my God, like, what does this mean? No, I acknowledge my feelings around it. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling helpless because I don't know what to do, and that's okay. Today's a new day. And he's not out of bed yet. And that's okay. So yeah, I don't know if I've gone over my time, but yeah, so is it true? Do I know that to be 100% true without a doubt? How do I feel when I believe that thought? What happens in my body when I believe that thought? And who would I be without that thought? And then turn it around. Yeah, Tara.